Hello and welcome to the full moon salon and spa. My name is Ella and I'll be your stylist this evening. Now, you have an appointment with us, correct? I thought I recognized you. Good. Go ahead and take a seat and we'll get started for you right away. Let me just make sure I've got everything in. Good. Your notes say you are here for a quick trim and style, correct? Okay. Now tell me a little bit about yourself and your coat. This is the first night of the full moon. Yes. How long have you been changing? Alright. Around 7 months. Okay. So your coat is still what we call puppy coat. It's still very soft in places. It's quite shaggy on the top there. Is this something that you would like to keep overall aesthetically? Okay. You're open to suggestion. Wonderful. That's what I like to hear. Alright, so you've got a great full mane. You've got what we call a fluff coat, which is quite dense and also rounded and very long. Some werewolves only get short coat. So, for example, I'm sure you're aware of different types of cats, example dogs, even just different species have different lengths of coat. Some are very short, some are very long and fluffy, some are coarse, denser than others. And I'd say that you are in that in-between. Yeah, definitely not the longest that I've seen, but not short at all. It is growing patchy. Yeah, that could happen at times if you don't maintain a regular cut. However, you did mention that you've only been a werewolf for 7 months. Correct? Okay. So that means you are still in that puppy phase. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'd say you're still waiting for some things to develop. You're still in that phase of understanding your new self. You've only had 7 transformations, so you're still getting to know that part of yourself. Don't mind if I just take a look at the coat. Okay, good. Yes, it's okay. So what I can tell you based on what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling is definitely that you have got this sort of coat that hairstylists love because it's not too dry, it's not coarse, it's very soft but not too soft that it frizzes easily, not too thin that it can go down and not hold a style, for example. But you've got a really lovely, lush mane, and something that I am very interested in continuing to work with you. Yes. So once you find your style, you can either stick to it or let the hair grow and then cut fur depending on style, depending on structure. This is your 7th transformation, so we're about seeing how it will grow. However, I do see what you mean about it being a little bit lopsided in places. So I'll definitely get that for you. Okay, so are you feeling comfortable? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead now and just spray you a little bit. Yes, I find it a bit easier to work with slightly damp fur. Perfect. I'll give it a quick little brush through. Yes. I added a few drops of pumpkin essential oil. It smells quite sweet. Find it to be really soothing to the client, and also makes your mane smell good. Okay. Alright. I see that you're growing little tufts just along the brows. Do we want to touch that up today? A little bit? Okay, not a problem. And what about the neck fur? Do you want to give that a trim? A little bit? Okay, perhaps just round it out just a bit so that it might not get in the way of necklines with your clothing. Okay, I can do that. Okay. So, tell me, how is it to be a werewolf? How are you finding it? Just step over you. I apologize. So you have family that are good, okay. So you kind of know the gist of it all. That's lovely. That's good. It's always good to have someone around who can kind of tell you what you're in for. That's nice. I'm going to just gently part these just a little bit. Nice brows. Yeah, sometimes they can grow inward and kind of get in the way of our vision. I can give that a little trim. Okay. And then the neck, use it a little bit. Yes. A little bit on the sides. Okay. Good. Alright. And do we want to keep the ears with that tuft? Do you like that? Okay. What I can do is I can kind of give it a little cleanup just at the base to make them pop a little more, make them stand out a little more. That's okay. I can do that. Do you want a style here, or are you just looking for an overall sort of trim to make it all even? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we can stick to making everything even for tonight, and then the next time that you come, we can give you a nice maybe style, so we can see how it grows, and then give you a style based on how your mane ends up growing. Okay. Maybe a mohawk or side swept bangs, or are you more of a middle part sort of werewolf? Okay. We have lots of time to play around with that, but for now we will stick to just making everything more seamless for you. That way you can get an overall general feel for how your mane will grow. We will see how long it takes to grow a certain extent, and then we will base your styling off of that. I think that's a good starting point. Okay, we can do that. Absolutely. Whatever's more comfortable for you, that's what we are here for. Now, go ahead and get started for you by just removing the bulk of the stray tufts. Okay. Just the chunkier bits. Okay. That way it's all even. I think that's best. Okay. Honestly, it's not the worst I've seen. actually quite well kept for a pup. What we call a pup, but clearly you are not actually one. I just need more of a newcomer to the lifestyle. But you've definitely been taking care of yourself. I see that you are dedicated to brushing your mane, correct? Yes. Yes, of course we can tell. You have no idea just how many pups we see who are disheveled and usually come in with scruffy manes and all sorts of little matted spots everywhere. Yes, I feel like they probably don't know what to do with themselves, and that's why it doesn't occur to them that we're here to help, or perhaps no one has ever told them. I don't know. Of course, not everyone has the luck that you have. I mean, to come from family or friends who can help during a transitional period. So perhaps not everyone is aware. I made it funny. So, yes, it does seem like you take good care of yourself. That's really good. Especially in the places that I can see that you can see right around here. I will actually go behind you now and just try to get the back as well. Right, so yes, we can just tip off the cat. Perfect. That's great. Just going to get it on the back here. You could just tilt your head forward for me a little bit. Perfect. Just side here a little. Okay, good. Why don't you tilt your head just a bit? Perfect. That's great. Perfect. Okay, that's good. Good. To the side. Perfect. Okay. Now, just around this way. Okay, excellent. You like the smell? I'm glad. Okay, so now I'm just sort of sculpting around the base, seeing as we have sort of shaped it the way that we like. Now it's just all about giving you a little bit of volume without, removing it too much, but also giving you enough room for growth here. Perfect. Just get a little bit of this. Okay. Okay, good. Now just use a comb here and get the brows. Perfect. That way at least you'll be having these in the middle of your eyes. Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to just take a look here. Give a nice shape to that. Good. I want you to maintain that natural look so that you don't end up looking, shocked or sad or angry. I want you neutral. Yes. So I'm going with the direction of where the fur is growing. So say it's growing this way, I'm cutting this way and trying to gently feather. Okay. It's not horribly complicated, no, but we have to remember that fur is sort of like hair, but it does grow in different directions, right? So we must take that into consideration. I'm just getting a little bit here. And a little bit on this side, just and I always go back and forth to make sure that I'm cutting the exact same length. Otherwise, if you do all one side, it's harder to replicate because you're not aware of how dense the fur is on either side after the fact. So that's why you should always cut. For example, I'm doing here around the ear. I remember how much I took off, and then I replicate there on this side. That way I'm sure that I'm getting an even cut. Okay, I'm going to do the top here. Perfect. Good. Perfect. And we did say that we wanted the ears to be more defined. Correct. I'll just go ahead and get a little bit I'm going very lightly, like this, instead of grabbing a large chunk and just cutting willy-nilly. So it does sound like I'm doing a lot, but it's really more of like point cutting a lot of the times, so as to not make your fur look stark and rigid, like you're a walking pixel sprite. I want it to look very natural, so I'm going in very gently point cutting in places. So it sounds like I'm doing a lot, but really I'm just trying to make it more natural looking, soft. Yes, exactly. Nice. Especially this here. Perfect, as exactly how I wanted it to look. Okay, let me just get this side here. Okay, I'm just gonna take a look at it. A little bit on this ear here, like so. Good. Perfect, perfect. And then I'm just going to fix up a little bit. Like this. Perfect. Very, very gentle, very, very light hand. And of course the neck as well. Very gently, just trimming. So, I'm not taking off very much. I am just making sure that things look even, so that it grows evenly, and then the next time that you're here we can work on a style. Right now, with things going a little bit like longer here, shorter there, patchy, it didn't look very seamless. Yeah, so just trying to make sure it's more or less got one shape so that it can grow well. Okay, perfect. Good. Excellent. Okay. Okay. To give a gentle shear here, like so, making sure that it looks nice and natural. Okay, so you look wonderful, much more defined rather than all sorts of spiky things and patches missing. Now it's all even, so hopefully it will grow evenly too. And the next time we will focus more on a styling for you. Okay? And then the rest of it, I think will just grow quite nicely. Good. Well, I thank you so much for being here tonight. Oh, no. The first haircut with us is always on the house. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. Thank you for choosing our salon and spa, and we hope that you consider us for a future booking. We also do nails and claws, and we also provide tail therapy and tail cuts if you like a sort of different style for the tail as well. We also do pedicures, so yes. And there's also massages, deep tissue massage specifically for the pelts, the muscles. Yeah, especially since as werewolves you tend to transform, so bones and muscles getting large, then shrinking, expanding, shrinking, does a lot to a body. So we do provide massages here as well. If that sounds like something you'd like, feel free to book in with our secretary. And we can get you in and next time do a full body makeover. Absolutely. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I hope to see you again soon. Good night.